Hello, dear watcher. My name is Chris Irwin. I am the staff attorney for United Mountain Defense, and we're going to play a game for the next 5 minutes. It's called Where's the Water? What this is basically they made what's called a high wall, which is basically a cliff face, and then they just piled the loose rubble, what was left on top of the mountain, on top of it. Now, as my kind assistant can show, throughout here, there are thousands of gallons of water at the base of this pile of rubble. There's obviously water coming off this slope. You can see the cattails, and you can see water, water, water all along the bottom of this slope. Now, what is wrong with this picture? Follow me, dear watcher. We're going to show you the next 5 or 10 what's called wet weather conveyances. And what a wet weather conveyance is, it's technicalese for what the Office of Surface Mining, basically it's what they call a stream. That's where the water is supposed to go on these slopes. Number 1, and I'm going to count them as we looked at them. Number 1, see this? That's what they're calling a stream, a wet weather conveyance, where the water is supposed to go. What do you not see there? Water. All the water, what it's doing is it's hitting the cliff face and it's cutting straight down and coming out of the bottom, destabilizing the slopes. What you're going to see the next 5, 10 of these wet weather conveyances is they're all dry, because what's happening is the water's undercutting it and coming out right here on the base. So that's the name of this game. And I'm going to cut these segments together, and I'm just going to show you wet weather conveyance, water, dry wet weather conveyance, water, dry wet weather conveyance, water, to show to you that this is a failed engineering technique. Here in Claiborne County, where we're at, Egan, there is about 100% failure rate of these wet weather conveyances within a 5-year period. And you will be able to see that with your own eyes. So once again, thousands of gallons of water all along the base of these things, which eventually is going to cause problems of erosion and subsidence. So with that, let's continue. Number 2, water. And big surprise, bone dry wet weather conveyance all the way down to water. Oh, there it is. And the problem is that they're doing mines like this 10, 15 miles long of just ribbon mining, stripping like this. And all of this is just spoiled, the blown up rubble that's been piled up against a cliff. And all along it, the water is undercutting from the top and going down and over. And as you can see, there's already problems with this. This is probably less than 5 years old. And there's already blowouts where this dirt that they piled up against is starting to come out apart. And once again, and this is number 3. Where is all the water coming from? Water, water, water. And then there, of course, dry wet weather conveyance, dry wet weather conveyance, lots of water. And gully erosion too. You can see where the gullies are starting to be worn into the hill slope. There's basically 2 kinds of erosion, sheet erosion and what's called gully erosion. The sheet erosion is kind of uniform, and the gully is where it's starting to wear in. Number 4, lots of water, 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 water everywhere. Water and cattails, orange slime of some kind. Water, and then going up the wet weather conveyance, bone dry, nothing, because the water's undercutting it. This is number 5, I believe. Once again, there's 2 things here you'll notice. There is some water here. There is no water on the wet weather conveyance. But look at what they've done. Look up there. They've planted pine trees in a hardwood forest. And you can tell, I mean, look above it. Those are hardwood, that's a hardwood forest, and then a strip of pine trees that has no business being there. And the reason they do that is what happens after 15 years, even black locusts and cedars die. The hardwoods die right away. The pines at least give it some green that lasts for a bit, but then they start dying too, like this. You know, everything dies on these slopes except grass that they plant periodically. But why would you do a strip of softwoods in the middle of what's obviously a hardwood forest. This is not reclamation. They haven't reclaimed anything. It all looks like this. There is not a single site that you will see today here that in any way resembles the hardwood forest that's on the top strip, because they cannot do it. They cannot reclaim it. They cannot replace it. They can only destroy it. Thank you again. And again, water, dry, wet weather conveyance. 100% failure rate on these things. Thank you. Not to belabor the point, this is number 6, I believe. You will notice water. Water everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Seemingly the only place you cannot find water is, what do you know? The wet weather conveyance. A quick word on what a wet weather conveyance is. Basically, it's an industrial drainage ditch. What they've done on the older ones is that they put this they packed the clay in and then put an impermeable fabric under it. And then they did another layer of clay. I don't think they're using the fabric anymore, but as you can tell, and anybody with common sense can tell, there is a ton, I should say thousands of gallons of water coming off this slope. It's just seemingly none of it is coming through the wet weather conveyances. All of it is coming from underneath, which equals, of course, destabilization of an already unstable slope.